Peace stars, welcome to another episode of the Knicks podcast. Got some new things going on. I got a new camera I'm testing out, some little lighting and stuff like that. So this is new, man. I'm actually broadcasting live on YouTube and Sportscaster today. So it's something a little bit different, man. But as you can see at the bottom, welcome to another episode of the Knicks podcast. See what happens when you do live? Knicks Training Camp interviews. That's what we're doing today, man. So without further ado, the Knicks podcast, equal to any star. Let's do it. Yeah, man. So we're doing training camp interviews, man. So we already did Tom Thibodeau. That to me, that was the most important one because you really want to know what the horse is saying. You want the words to come out of the horse's mouth, and the grand cliff notes of what he basically Tom Thibodeau was saying is that everyone has to earn their minutes, and there's going to be a fight in training camp, and if guys want to play, they're going to have to compete. So competition is high and whatever, and that seems to be like the theme in these interviews too, when these players started popping up. So anyway, before we get into that, man, I would like to thank you guys for supporting. You know, I've been bouncing around on different people's platforms, not just the video stuff on YouTube and Sportscaster, but also the audio stuff too. So I've been a guest starring on a lot of people's podcasts, just trying to stay busy. And I appreciate you guys for following me. The subscription has been picking up on YouTube and also the viewership as well. So I'm gonna take a look at that. And as you can see there, this is some of the recent videos that I posted 2 days ago and 6 days ago. That Austin Rivers trade sweeteners video, man, 11,000 views. Wow, man. I mean, out of anything that I ever posted, I think that might have been the most viewed video. Austin Powers. I guess I want to say it's because the way I worded it, maybe I cracked the logarithms or whatever. But that's dope, man. I was dope to see. And then also too the SEC Player of the Year was a reach. That was I was talking about Emmanuel Quickly with the pick number 25. Self-explanatory, man, but you can click that if you like to. That's on 1.5 thousand, so that's pretty big too. As you can see here too, some of the other videos I usually get into the 400s. Some of them don't even crack 100, so it was interesting, man, to see what you guys are clicking. But that's no here nor there. But we're here to talk about the training camp videos, man. So let's get into that. Yeah, man. So training camp interviews. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna pull up some YouTube stuff and just see what you guys are actually clicking as far as these videos. Now, of course, the Tom Thibodeau one, that's got to be the highest one. The last time I looked, 25,000 views with Tom Thibodeau. If you scroll down, you can look and see what everybody else is clicking. This is what 3 days ago. So the first 3 days was that. The first 3 days they interviewed DHJ, Nerlens Noel, and RJ Barrett. Out of those three, of course, Thibodeau's number one. RJ Barrett, of course, is number two because people want to know, what the young guy is saying. Then you got Dennis Smith Jr. and Nerlens Noel. So I mean, people want to know what's going on with DSJ, obviously, because we want to see where his head is at or whatever. But I think just the first day, Nerlens Noel, to me, outside of Tom Thibodeau, I didn't really care what DSJ had to say. I didn't care what RJ said because I already know what they're gonna say. DSJ was very serious in his little interview, and RJ Barrett was all business. He was a little bit tired, you can see maybe, but he was all business, just talking whatever. And then Dennis Smith Jr. was more kind of like talking in parables, kind of like that he's been working hard and whatever all the cliche stuff. But Nerlens Noel, that's the one that I really want to watch. So for me, I clicked him second, especially, like I said, after Tom Thibodeau. So I clicked him second because to me, that's the most important one out of the day one, because I mean, he's a new player, number one. And number two, I just want to see his wording, just his when they ask him certain questions about minutes and his role and stuff like that. I just want to see what keywords he's going to use. So he used a lot of words like leadership, competition, a lot of leadership, man. He was talking about a lot of leadership, and then asking him different questions about certain stuff, so you could see his face light up when certain things were asked him. So starting, he kind of beat around the bush a little bit with the starting stuff, but this the fire you could see in his eyes that he's ready to compete, and I think that he thinks that that he might be the starter when this thing training camp rolls out, man. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how that plays out. But I'm looking at body language and stuff like that. You're listening to the way, watching the way the guys smile and stuff like. Shout out to Rebecca Harlow, because when RG Barrett when Rebecca asked him a question, he started cheesing. I think that's the smile right there that you can see in this video here, the little thumbnail. He smiled for Rebecca, man. So you can see the emotion, man. So it's good, man. It's good to see. We haven't seen these guys in months, man. So going to day two. Day two, we got 3 guys. Of course, Austin Rivers was the star of the day. But looking at the different videos, of course, Elfrid Payton. Nobody nobody cares what Elfrid got to say, because we already know what we're expecting from him. But when I think of Elfrid Payton, I think of like a Vern Fleming. This is a guy that's not really that good, but if you start him, he's going to give you production. So Elfrid Payton is going to give you production, but you don't want him to be a starter. So he's just a great backup, but you just don't want him ever starting. You need a starter point guard ahead of him. So of course, Austin Rivers, there's no gripe here with that, because you really just want to know what he has to say, and he just lit it up, man. He talked about Obi Toppin, and he just talked about the whole New York thing. That he gets it, the whole Mecca stuff. I kind of got pissed off at the last episode, because Knicks fans, we're supposed to be like the greatest fans. That's what Rivers said. That's what some of the other guys said too. Like the Knicks have some of the greatest fans in all of sports, which is true. But we have a lot of people they're just coming on to this. They just came on when Melo came on, so it's a different era of fan now. But the elders, I always talk about this. Like basketball and life are always connected with each other. So young people won't know anything. They'll have their own opinion. They don't need us. They don't need older people. But they do need older people, because they need to have a connection with the past. So the older generation, they know the past. They know about the 13 years straight playoff run with Patrick Ewing. They know about the 13 years. They know about being in the playoffs. They know about good fortune and all this other stuff, hard-nosed defense, and what it is to be a Knick. Rewind to the 70s, guys that were around for the championship era. Those fans that remember that, they were there to watch it. They can give you another branch over to the young people. Then you got fans that came on like around the 99 when Spreewell stuff came. That's when they started becoming fans. So those fans are disgruntled, and it's like 20 years worth of anger and frustration. So that is the branch that connects these young guys. So those people that came on during that time, you have to snap out of it. You have to, because you ruin it you basically ruin it for everybody. I know it was a bad time being a Knicks fan, but like I said, I just explained 13 years of straight playoff run, and you can't dismiss that, and only talk about how bad we were the last 20 years. So anyway, it's just food for thought for my Knicks fans out there. We have to be an example for the guys coming up. So anyway, Alec Burke was kind of was just like really monotone and stuff like that, but also too, he was very excited as well. Talked about the Mecca and things of that nature too. So I'm expecting Austin Rivers and Alec Burke to really have a big role this year. And this is not going to be like the guys. Well, let me not say that. Say like Twin that we had, whatever. He came over and he took on a big leadership role, and some of the other guys too that came through, like Taj Gibson and guys like that. They came in and brought some leadership to the team. But these guys here, they're actually playing positions that we need help in, which is the shooting guard position, swingman, backup point guard, and this type of thing. They actually bring skill to the team. So this is very important, whatever. So they're actually going to bring a different dynamic. So I'm hoping to see these guys bring a level of professionalism and just like skill level and competitiveness. I'm expecting it. Because Alex Burke, sometimes he looks like an all-star sometimes, but then a lot of times he looks horrible. So I hope he can blend that up, whatever. Maybe just the bright lights and stuff, or whatever, the excitement of being a Knick. Maybe that would help him to show more of the good side than the bad. Same with Austin Rivers. He's in the same boat. He has like his skills. If you look at it at his highlight tape, you would think that he was an all-star. But the guy averages 8 points a game, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. But he has all those basketball skills, but it doesn't really translate to being the caliber of player that he shows in the highlights. So it's not really about the highlights. Like I said, everything that Austin Rivers said, that's just who he is. And Alex Burke, monotone. I'm hoping that isn't that it's not any anything like any fear or anything like that, or like I don't know. I don't want to put bad stuff in it, but I'm just hoping these guys, really could add something to the Knicks, whatever. So we can go down to one day ago, and one day ago we kind of had a couple guys. We had four. We had Obi Toppin, of course, he's going to be popular. Kevin Knox, Emmanuel Quickly, and Reggie Bullock. So out of these guys, I'm just looking at the numbers here. It's about right, 18. Of course, everybody would be excited to hear about Obi Toppin and Kevin Knox and Emmanuel Quickly. But just everything that Obi Toppin was saying, he seems like he's going to be like generational Nick, Nick player, whatever. This is like the next generation of players. I mentioned the olive branch and connecting guys to the next level, whatever. He already has. He had a great. I don't know anything about his upbringing or anything like that, but I just know his dad was a street ball player. So he got a chance to be around his dad during that era. So that is the olive branch to connect that one generation to the next. So during the time when the Knicks were bad, that's when the street ball era was popping up. So everyone was out there in the streets. I remember I was out there watching Dykeman. I was out there watching the West Fourth. I was always out there watching. Because I mean, truth be told, like the Knicks were kind of like a joke. It was like a lot of anger watching the Knicks during that time. So I was in the parks watching the guys, playing in the summertime, and that was helping out a lot too. So I got to see a lot of these guys. So anyway, he was a part of that. The whole street ball stuff. So what is it? Dunker's Delight. That was his dad's name, his street name. So he was apparently he was all involved in that too. So he has that connection. So that's great. But he's saying all the right things. Like they asked, like before, I was asking that whatever question they were asking him. Every time they asked him, "What did you work on?" or "What part of your game?" or this, that, and the other, he basically started every sentence off with Kenny Payne. Kenny Payne is going to do this. Kenny Payne is going to do that. What about your defense? What have you been working about your defense? Kenny Payne. Everything that he said was Kenny Payne. So that's just great to hear. Not because Kenny Payne came from Kentucky and all this other nonsense, the narrative and whatever. It's just the fact that Kenny Payne is actually a good coach. So if these guys are being coached up to this point where the player he can't keep Kenny Payne's name out of his mouth, so that's a great sign too, man. So everything about Obi Toppin has been great, man. And just go down the line. Austin Rivers gave him a nice word or two about his athleticism. Kevin Knox also mentioned something. Emmanuel Quickly mentioned him too because he was working with Kenny Payne as well. We saw some videos of that. So it's just great. Kevin Knox, I know I'm gonna say the same thing basically about Franklin Lakina when I get to him. Is that these guys, they have individual goals, So every time they ask him a question, it was always about what they can do, what they're gonna do this year, what's gonna happen with them, and same thing with Dennis Smith Jr. He's in that boat as well. These guys have a lot to prove, but Obi Toppin has a lot to prove too. Some of these other guys got a lot to prove too. But the difference between Kevin Knox and say Austin Rivers and Alec Burke and even Elfrid Payton and Obi Toppin, these guys are not talking about their own individual self. They're talking about the team. So I would like for Kevin Knox and Dennis Jr. to get that in mind too. Of course, you want to demolish. This guy Nerlens Noel, he was talking about stuff too, but he still was talking about team leadership, leading guys and stuff. Kevin Knox is young. But I mean, what is his third year now? Whatever year it is for Kevin Knox. I believe this is his third year now. 3 years in the NBA, you have experience, so you need to teach quickly now. It's not about you still learning from people. Of course, everyone's gonna learn. Even someone in my advanced age, you learn something new every day. If you don't learn something new every day, then something's wrong with you. So everyone's gonna learn something new. Even just to use Amari Spellman, that guy got a post game after his knees done blew out. And then he still was playing ball overseas and learning different stuff, playing ball in the big three, always adding things to his game and stuff like that. So there's always room to grow as a basketball player. So anyway, I just wish that the team thing would be said more. Truth be told, I didn't click Reggie Bullock's video, because I already know what I'm getting from him. And I know he's a great dude. I read so much about him. I saw so many videos, man. He had a lot of tragedy in his life. And he's just a great dude. So I already know that about him. So I don't really need to hear it. I don't really need to hear what he says. So if Reggie Bullock said anything worthwhile, hit me up and then maybe I'll click the video. But I really don't need to see Reggie Bullock because he's a stand up guy, man. And somebody like Kevin Knox, he really needs to sit next to Reggie Bullock, to learn the nuances and stuff like that, and just how to just lighten up a little bit, because if anybody knows how short life is or how precious life is, it would be Reggie Bullock, man. So that's somebody that he needs to really like pick his brain. So we're just gonna go down here, man. So we're looking at this is today, 5 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 2 hours ago. I'm just looking at the numbers here. So nobody gives a damn about Julius Randle, obviously. But the top one, of course, is Frank Ntilikina. And then surprisingly, Amari Spellman is close with 4,000. But, of course, it was 5 hours ago, so maybe that'll taper out as time goes on or whatever. But it's just interesting that he still has numbers high up, almost 4,000, views or whatever. So I guess we could start off with Amari Spellman. To me, Amari Spellman is like a wild card, man. He reminds me of say like an Anthony Mason. Now, the reason why I say Anthony Mason, not because of the weight, not because of the position, it's just because he's just kind of like been a throwaway. Anthony Mason, he had to go do his due diligence in the the minor leagues. He played in Venezuela and all these different leagues, and then eventually made himself back to the NBA with the Knicks, and was able to stick and eventually get to the All-Star game. He's always been a big dude, strong, with kind of like oversized, but always a hard worker or whatever. So, maybe when he got to the Knicks, he was able to get it together with the coaching and stuff like that. So maybe Amari Spellman with the coaching staff that we have now, because he also mentioned that in the video that that these guys are helping him to get to where he needs to go. And he's like, that's the thing what I love about him too. He said that he's just ready for whatever they want him to do. He's just ready for them to tell him what to do. That way he could become, like a better pro. He wants to learn. So that's what I love about him too. And this the enthusiasm in his voice and stuff. So, he's also truthful too. He's not in shape. He basically said he wasn't in shape, but he's counting on this coaching staff to teach him how to be a pro. So that's great, man. I love what I hear from Amari Spellman. And regardless if he's not in shape, the dude could jump still, man. Wow. And he can get up and down the court and he could shoot his ass off. So, I mean, that's really, if you could still jump in the condition that his body's in, and you could shoot like that still, imagine when he gets in shape. So that's why he's the X factor to me. So I was great to hear from him, and I hope that he stays with the team, man. I hope we don't trade him or whatever. I hope he's able to stick with the team, because I would love for him to just all out of nowhere just take a spot, just like Anthony Mason did, and we can ride that wave whenever it gets here. We're not talking about Frank right now. So Mitchell Robinson, he was there. Truthfully, I didn't click Mitchell Robinson's video, because Mitchell Robinson has a way of speaking, that I really don't like. He has the down south, drawl. He always almost sounds like Deputy Dog a little bit. So I'm not really a fan of Mitchell Robinson, the way that he carries himself too. Sometimes it's cool, but he's a little bit goofy, man. So I really didn't click Mitchell Robinson's video. The thing with Mitchell Robinson, and I understand he did talk about his jump shot and working on things like that. So I hope that's what he's doing, because basic stuff in basketball: run, jump, pass, play defense, and shoot a basketball. That's basic basketball. So I just want him to be a basic basketball player, and then let all that stuff. He needs to learn how to play. Truthfully, because he didn't play in college. Basically his first year in the NBA was his college, because he didn't play the whole time. And then this offseason, I didn't really see him playing too much. I see him playing with his cousins, people that look like his cousins. So I'm not too enthusiastic about his development off the court. I'm just kidding, outside of the professional thing here. So hopefully they evaluate him, and we'll just see what he does, man. I like Mitchell Robinson, but when it comes to developing the team and building up the spending money cap wise and stuff like that, I don't think a center is worth like 20-30 million, because you got guys like Nerlens Noel that's just dangling that we just picked up for like 1 year. You know what I'm saying? So we can get a Nerlens Noel or somebody else for cheap. I would rather do that than waste money on a center. But that's like another conversation for another day. Julius Randle, I watched a little bit of it and I just turned it off because I mean, he's like he's a big guy, so he's almost like a teddy bear. Like in this picture here, you can see him smiling. He doesn't know if he wants to smile. He doesn't know if he wants to be serious. And I know he's conscious of the way that we feel about him, especially with Obi Toppin here. But he did make a comment talking about suggesting that they could play together, play off each other. I don't know about that, guys. I know they're on the roster. I know it's on the table. And we're not the coach. Tom Thibodeau could see something in Obi that might think that he can slide over to the 3. None of us that are watching think so, because his foot speed and this, that, and the other, it'll be atrocious on defense. But I mean, if that's what Tom Thibodeau thinks, then that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? But I really can't see that. But also, Tom Thibodeau did say something about sacrifice. Some guys are gonna have to sacrifice. So I mean, some of these guys that I mentioned here on this list, a lot of these guys are not going to be playing, and a lot of these guys are going to have to go to the bench. And one guy that's a candidate to go to the bench is Julius Randle. So that's something to look into there. So I don't know if Julius Randle is going to enjoy being on the bench, man. But the thing about it, if we have a team thing going, and Tom Thibodeau, it's all about getting guys to buy in. So if guys can buy in, to this whole thing, if they can buy in, then it's going to work, but you have to get guys to buy in. Julius Randle, he's lately he's been the starter for like the last few years, 20 points a game, 2 years in a row. So he's thinking about his career, him going back to the bench at this stage of his career, like what, year 26, that's going to be bad for him. People think that way. He might think that it may be bad for him, but it could end up being like the best thing that ever happened to him, because if in the team concept, if Randle comes off the bench and he could destroy other team's second units, and then we could start the game off with energy with Obi Toppin and whoever else we got starting, then that's a good thing for us. So we might actually be able to sneak and actually win some games this year, which will be interesting, man. Like I mentioned, Alec Burke. I think Alec Burke is a sleeper to start. Austin Rivers is also a sleeper to start. So it's just interesting, man, because of course I know I'm ignoring Frank Ntilikina, but I'm kind of just talking about the roster. There's a lot of things to sort out. I kind of want RJ to be the 3, maybe start Alec Burke. This is just off the top. I have Austin Rivers coming off the bench. Elfrid Payton probably backing up DSJ. DSJ has to start, I think. But this is all about evaluation or whatever. So I would hope that DSJ would snap out of it and at least get back to the game that he had when he first got to the Knicks, or the game that he got when he was on Dallas. If he was just that level of player, then that's somebody that we can actually start because of his athleticism. His ability to change the game with his athleticism. So if he could just get to that level, back to 12 to 15 points, maybe 5 assists a game, that type of thing, and maybe improve his percentages all around, then that's a decent player right there. So if he can get that production out of him, that'd be good. And having Elfrid Payton as a change of pace guard behind DSJ would be great too. Now, if you notice, I didn't put Frank Ntilikina in that equation. So that's 4 guards that I mentioned there. DSJ, Alec Burke, Austin Rivers, and Elfrid Payton. That's 4 guys. That's a 4-man rotation in the guards there. Where's the room for Frank Ntilikina? Now that all depends on the competition. So Frank Ntilikina could easily jump any of those guys, because those guys, none of these guys are like world beaters. You know what I'm saying? So Frank Ntilikina can easily pop into one of those guys just because of his defense alone. So if Frank could improve on all his percentages, just get him to a consistent 10 points a game. It isn't, because I heard some guys say 15 points a game. And that's like really a stretch for somebody that could barely get average 5. Get all the way to 15. I don't know about that. But if Frank can get at least to 10, even coming off the bench, get it up to 10. With the production that he gives, whatever, then he's a decent player as well. So this is all a fight. And I'm here for it. I don't have any favorites on this team. The only favorite I have is probably Obi Toppin. I freaking love Obi Toppin, man. He seems like a dude that's gonna be. And of course, Amari Spellman. I really like Amari Spellman, but some of these other guys, I really don't. I'm not attached to them. Because a lot of these guys are still trying to figure it out. and and they could be gone in a trade like this. So I'm not invested in these players. I'm only invested in the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about the fight. So I hope these guys can really compete, and there's no infighting and no fucking BS and all that stuff, and we can really have an exciting season. Exciting season means just respect. We can get blown out. I don't want to get blown out. Let me not say that. We can have like competitive games and still lose. I'd rather just do that. I'd rather do that. I'd rather beat some teams sometimes, stay competitive, and be consistent with the coaching and stuff like that. No drama, no outside, no Berman throwing stuff out there, trying to stir the pot to make the swirl in the media, get into the locker room. I just hope they don't do that. I just want to have a nice basketball driven season, man. So because we need that as a fan base, man. So I'm kind of ignoring all these comments that I'm getting here. So let's I'm gonna look at Sportscaster first, and I'm gonna get to YouTube. So Sportscaster, we got some guys here. We got Cowboys, Love Richard. We got Pauline, the Bulls fan, 99. We got a Bulls fan watching. What's up? We got Amos 22. That's all I see there on Sportscaster. So now let's see what's going on here with YouTube. So on YouTube, I know I saw one guy here in the beginning, Jose Guerrero. He was the first one there, man. So let me just put him out there. Thank you for tuning in, bro. Yeah, what's up? What's up? Yeah, Julius Randle. What's up? I don't like, everybody has the same comments about Julius Randle, man. Julius Randle was just like, if our team was more like experienced or whatever, like if we had a real small forward, if we had a real point guard, if we had a real shooting guard, then maybe Julius Randle, we wouldn't hate him so much, man, because the ball wouldn't have just been exclusively in his hands the way it was with Fizdale. But it is what it is. We got Joe Madden here. What's up, Joe Madden? I gotta stay up late to catch you guys, man. You guys be on all night, fucking 12 o'clock to like 6 o'clock in the morning talking Knicks. So I gotta get up with you guys soon, man. So I'm just kind of just skimming here. Just want to shout you guys out. We got MH, what's up, bro? We got D, what is this? D Grails. Yeah, thank you, man. Let me shout you out. He said he likes my streams and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm trying, man. As you can see, I'm a low level guy, but I'm trying my best to do this. I like to podcast. I like to talk about Knicks. Most of the people in my everyday life, they love to trash me, and I don't really have anybody on my level as far as like Knicks is concerned to really fight with. You know what I'm saying? So, this whole podcasting thing is just a good, fun thing for me. We got I'm sorry if I can pronounce the name, but I'll just put you up here. What's up, man? Ebru, what's good? He was good, man. Thank you for tuning in. D Grails is still here. Who else? Everybody's just getting busy. Got Dis Dolo. This is my guy here. Yo, Dis, if you're still watching, you got to get on the show, man. Guys need to see what you can do. So I'd like to get you on the show. Why all the Randle hate? Yeah, man. What's this, folks? Love Frank but hate Randle. Yeah, that's a dynamic too that I don't understand. Somebody like Frank hasn't produced yet in his career, but people put him here, and a guy like Randle that's been increasing every single year of his career and topping off now where he's almost like a walking 20 and 10 coming into every season. And people talk more about Frank than put him up there, that he's going to be the greatest, whatever. Here's another thing too. I'm trying not to go Super Saiyan on Frank. That's why I don't really like to mention him too much. But a lot of people they're like in their 50s, 40s and 30s, grown men, just putting the pixie dust, all around Frank and want to fly to Neverland. You know what I'm saying? Like what are you talking about? Either the guy could play or he can't. He hasn't been putting up the numbers. If he was on any other team, he wouldn't even be playing. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to prove it in practice. Then you got to prove it to the coaches that you belong out there. Then once you're out there, you have to wake up. A lot of times you're like he'll play good and you're like, wow, this guy's a great defender. But then another day he'll show up and you're like, yo, what is wrong with this dude, man? Somebody kick him in his balls or something, And then anyway, man, that's just what it is with Frank. And I just wish that the guys wouldn't romanticize so much. But I feel like I'm watching a novella when people are talking about him. Just cue the music, man. Cue the music, the violins and things of that nature. And like why don't you just get a room? I wouldn't be surprised if some of these guys that love Frank so much got like a bulletin board with just pictures of Frank, and he just like putting hearts and stuff on it, whatever, like a freaking psycho. This is crazy, man. I mean, I think the guys, I think he brings something to the table. But the thing is, he brings something to the table. He's not bringing the turkey. You know what I'm saying? He's not bringing the collard greens. He's not bringing the pernil. You know what I'm saying? He's not, he's not even bringing the coquito. You know what I'm saying? He just bringing I think he just brought the napkins or something. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he brought the spray for when everybody got to go take a shit. Hasn't really brought in something to the table that's really all that significant for everyone to be going crazy about Frank. It's crazy, man. We got guys like Emmanuel Quickly. He could shoot. He could do all the things that we want Frank to do. So at this point, entering year 4, I want Frank to teach Emmanuel Quickly. You know what I'm saying? I want Austin Rivers to teach Emmanuel Quickly. I want these guys, I want the coaching staff to focus on Emmanuel Quickly because he's the rookie. These guys that's been here, we don't need the coaching staff to be teaching the veterans, to teach them how to play. At some point of their careers, they're gonna have to grab that shit and take it into their own hands, man. So that's always gonna be my thought process with the Knicks, man. So let's shout some other guys up. We got Hero. That's it. You guys got some crazy names, man. What else? You got Woodshed is here too. What's up, Woodshed? I gotta get with you guys on the late night. What is this? Get them likes up. Hey man, yo, subscribe. How about that? You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of people out there. Like, I don't really get a chance to listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff like that. I listen to some. There's some guys from other markets that I listen to just to get a different perspective, and they're pretty good. But a lot of the guys that post about the Knicks, because there's a million of us. It's like so many of us. A lot of people are just regurgitating the same shit. I don't really see a different perspective. I don't really see a different voice. Everyone's trying to copy a certain voice or whatever. So I just wish you guys will go out the ones that you are listening to. Keep scrolling, man, because there's so many different people out there. There's different ways of speaking. I speak the way that I speak. I'm not gonna like try to change my voice and talk like this, or use words that I don't know, that I just found out the meaning of and start using that. I'm a kid from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? I'm currently living in Queens. I work, hard for the money. You know what I'm saying? I'm a New Yorker, whatever. So this is how I talk, and that this is how it is. You know what I'm saying? So this is a different kind of view. I hope you guys enjoy. Just continue to support the kid. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff, man. That's actually the first time I've ever said that on video. So like, share, subscribe, man, and support the kid, man, because I know you guys see me out there and you guys are giving me good feedback and stuff, man. So show your support, but just by subscribing, that's all. We got Sam Holt here. He's just going crazy here. Dudes love Frank because D for 20 years and he actually playing D. The only dude, yeah. That's what everybody says. He's the only guy playing defense. Yeah, I mean, this is not football. Football, like you can the offense comes off and the defense comes in. So I mean, basketball's not like that. Basketball, you play offense and defense almost simultaneously because steals happen, things of that nature. Turnovers happen. So offense can happen like this, along with the defense. Defense could create offense. So it's a whole different dynamic. Yeah. So just the fact that he plays defense, he just plays defense, in his little square. You got to have 5 guys playing defense in order for it to work. And if take Frank out, you can still get 5 guys in there to play great defense, team defense. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something to think about. It's not necessarily just about having, we got to get 5 individual defensive players. You can have 5 great defensive players on a team and still have a fucked up team defense. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we've had great defenders, even with Isaiah was here. Going on the line, freaking Quentin Richardson, all these different guys. We had good defenders. We didn't have guys that were like totally shit defenders. They were good defenders. But just as a team, they weren't playing defense. So we used to leave guys open in the corner for the threes and stuff like that. The rotations were bad. So if guys are not communicating, that's one thing that I don't like about Frank. Is that, well, not necessarily I don't like about him. It's just, there's language barrier and stuff like that. So he needs to be a leader, especially if you guys want him to be a point guard. Because most people that talk about Frank when point guard stuff is that they say that he can hit the open jumper. He's certain amount of percentage from the corner 3. That don't sound like a point guard to me. If you're talking about a point guard, the first word to come off your mouth needs to be leadership, distribution, clock, game management. Nobody says any of that stuff when it comes to Frank. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about just whatever, man. Oh yeah, he drove the lane, he dunked on somebody. Oh, you saw how he did that? Yeah, but that doesn't, to me, that doesn't say anything about being a point guard. Even DSJ does all these fancy things every once in a while, but at least sometimes he resembles a point guard sometimes. But he's another one. He's not somebody that's known for being a leader, anything like that. So these guys need to learn how to lead, man. Yeah. Plus and minus, man. Let me show that. This Dolo's talking about plus and minus. I'm not really into plus and minus, man. Because plus and minus, like let's say 4 guys could be playing really good while you're on the court. So that means your plus is gonna go up. So like if you happen to be on the court when the Knicks are losing, your plus and minus is gonna be destroyed. So it's to me that's a flawed thing. So I mean, I guess whenever you're in the game, your plus and minus can be high. Every time he's in the game, his plus and minus is high. All right, cool, man. But I mean, he's still trash. He's still trash. If his plus and minus is good, look at who else he was playing with. To make his plus and minus so good. Because if everybody else is rolling, Frank looks great. A lot of people made that point about him too. Like they bring up Tony Allen and stuff like that. But Tony Allen also played with freaking Ray Allen and KG and Paul Pierce in their prime. You know what I'm saying? So you could throw a Tony Allen out there. We don't have players like that. I don't want to turn this into a Frank show, man. I'm just kind of just talking to you guys. Frank equals Jeffries. Yo, shout out to Jared Jeffries, man. Yo, here's a story about Jared Jeffries that no one talks about. Is the fact that he basically made Melo run off the court after the whole fight thing with Nate Robinson and stuff like that. Melo slapped he slapped Nate. I forgot who he slapped, but then he backpedaled, and then freaking Jared Jeffries, everybody was on the court was trying to keep Jared Jeffries away from Melo. So I mean that's like a forgotten story. People forgot that even happened. Even when Melo was here for all these years, that story was never brought up. But whatever, man. Yeah, man. Frank, let me just read it. I know I laughed it. I was about to dismiss it, but Frank's passing gets overlooked. He's not great, but capable, especially with Mitch. Look at the highlights. Kevin Knox is good with Mitch. DSJ is good with Mitch. Elfrid Payton is good with Mitch. Basically anybody that could dribble and is in the pick and roll with Mitch is going to be good with Mitch, because that's what he does. He's a pick and roll player. 70% from the field. He's not going to shoot it outside of a dunk, and he's super athletic. As soon as they come around the thing, all they do is throw it up and he catches it. So everybody's good with the pick and roll with Mitch. So that's not really something to like praise Frank about, that he does it so good. They have an ESP. People like to use ESP a lot too. Jeffries was shook of yeah, man. Where's that? Jeffries he had Melo shook. Yeah, Melo shook. Melo lost a lot of money that year, man, from that fight. It was like a real stupid thing. People forget about that, but people want to put Melo's name in the rafters, When you think about MKG's chances, the chances of him making a roster is pretty high, actually. Simeon Russell keeps talking about Iggy Bragzikas. We didn't see him yet in the interview, man, but he's talking about Iggy Bragzikas being a guy that's not going to make the team. But I mean, MKG is definitely somebody that might not make the team, or somebody like you can just go down the line. Even Amari Spellman, he might be somebody that might be on the fence too. I really don't want him to lose him. But MKG, if you watch him play, he can't shoot. That's a funny shit. The guy is shooting like this, it's like crazy. But the guy plays elite defense. If you want to say Frank plays elite defense, MKG plays defense like in that way too. And the way that he's hesitant on offense, he's totally not hesitant on defense. So that's something that he will bring. So it would be good to have him on the bench, waving the towel, that type of thing, and have him in practice to beat guys up in practice. Because you need those type of guys too. You need guys that are like 12th, 15th man or whatever. They're just there in the practice, busting your rotation player's ass on defense to make everybody better. You know what I'm saying? So when those rings come around, those guys that you never see play, they deserve the rings. Because they put in the work too to get the team right. Like what's it, Dudley? That guy Dudley from the Lakers. He's trash, but I'm quite sure in practice he mixes it up and he's getting guys better. Basically a professional crash dummy, for the guys to get better out there. So, yeah, man. what he's saying. He's a elite rebounder. I don't know about elite rebounder, but he's gonna contribute to that too. Spellman, Bullock is probably, I mean, it all depends because not everybody can play. Because I mentioned four guys in the backcourt. I said DSJ, Burke, Rivers, and Alfred Payton. Now since those four spots are filled, hypothetically, Bullock, it opens a spot for Bullock. So because you expect Knox to be in a small forward, but I didn't even say RJ as a shooting guard. You know what I'm saying? So let's say if you put RJ as a three and have Kevin Knox coming off the bench, then where does Reggie Bullock play? Now let's say Kevin Knox has something in him. He wants to be somebody, right? But Reggie Bullock might actually be playing hard and be playing better, making the team better. So maybe Knox might be the odd man out. We don't really have a backup. We got the Obi Toppin and Randle situation with power forward. So I mean that opens up a spot where someone is gonna have to take the bench. They're gonna have to sit on the bench. I don't know who that's gonna be. So it's interesting, man. I would hate to be Tom Thibodeau, but if there's anybody that's gonna make that decision that I trust, it's gonna be Tom Thibodeau. And he's not alone. Tom Thibodeau has Woody is there. Just go down the line for all the coaches that we have. We have plenty of guys that evaluate talent. And Tibbs not alone. So there's a good staff there. So let's say, hypothetically, if they say that they don't want Knox out there, then you got to stand by it. So say Iggy Brazzekas, he is definitely in danger of not being on the team. And MKG, he's in danger of not being on the team. Spellman is also in danger of not being on the team. And there's a bunch of other shooting guards and point guards, swing, kind of players that are dangling as well. So it's I hate to be, it's fun if you're involved in all that, but I hate to be the one to tell somebody that's talented, that's like marginally talented than another player and tell them that they're not going to play. This guy's playing over you, so I hope that breeds competition. So if you don't get picked, to be in a rotation, I hope you're out there working hard. So when your name is called and you get called up into the rotation again because somebody got hurt or maybe somebody isn't playing well, and you pull somebody from the rotation and you get your shot, then you need to take that spot. You need to take it. So I'm hoping that's what guys do. I hope they respond in that way and they do that, man, because season is long and we're gonna need everybody. We got some new guys here, man. We got Aaron Mason. Aaron Mason is here. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. We got Manny Ramos is here. Ramos actually has a picture. Handsome young man there. Knicks might trade for Buddy Hield. Yeah, I don't know about that. Alan Hahn, I know everybody saw it on Knicks Fan TV. Alan Hahn was saying that Buddy Hield is kind of miserable. I said it on my podcast, man. He seems like a guy that just like not happy about life. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. What seniors like to say, miserable. So he's kind of like one of those kind of guys. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if if he would cut it in New York. Yeah, I like to apologize for this light because like I said, I'm messing around with certain things, and I had a backlight just now, and the backlight went out, so now the front light is too bright. So you gotta have to deal with my light skinned self lighting up the screen. Yeah, Buddy Hield got a huge contract. His contract is actually not that bad because I think he's making 24 for this first year, and the numbers actually go down as it gets to the end. So I think by the end of the contract, he's making like 16 or something like that. I don't have the numbers right in front of me. They may say they may send Iggy to the G League. Yeah, all this stuff is on the table. Jared Harper is a name that no one talks about. There's another kid too. I can't think of his name. He was he has that handle that was in the G League. People forget about him. They're not even talking about him at all. And we added a bunch of players that's going to play over him too. Miles Powell. Miles Powell is a good player. I'm really interested in Miles Powell. I think oh man, wouldn't you want to be a fly on the wall in this training camp, man? I just want to, I won't say nothing, maybe, give me a part-time job, mopping the floors and stuff like that. I wear my mask, you know what I'm saying? I'll stay back. I'll put a face shield on. I won't say nothing to nobody. I just want to see the competition. I just want to see the guys fighting each other. I just want to see who wants the job, who wants to be here. I want to see who's pouting. I want to see who's complaining. I want to see how as they leave the place. I want to see how they leave. You know, I want to see all of that because this is stuff that I'm worried about. So I'm hoping that our coaching staff and our front office are watching these things, and they could put 2 and 2 together too to understand who belongs here and who doesn't. So I'm excited. I know you guys are excited too, man. You know, being a Knicks fan is an amazing thing. We've been through a lot, you know, in our Knicks lives, man. So, you know, we deserve a winner, but I mean, we deserve a winner, but we also deserve to enjoy this too. One thing I want to bring up too before we leave, because I really want to talk about these interviews, but I see guys here on YouTube are chiming in, so I just want to this is really a gratitude episode too. I want to show my gratitude for everyone supporting and stuff. But there was a caller on Sim Show, and I wanted to get on the show so bad, but I was busy. I couldn't I wasn't at home, so I couldn't really get in on the show. But the guy was so pissed off that we didn't get Westbrook. I mean, so pissed off we didn't get Westbrook. Okay, cool. All right, I get it. We need to get a guy, whatever. But he was getting so mad, and he was kind of disrespecting Sim a little bit. But my thing is just say what it is. You want somebody to worship. You know what I'm saying? You want to wear Westbrook, underwears. You want to wear the underoos with Westbrook on it. You know what I'm saying? You want to put a picture, a poster in your room with Westbrook wearing a Knicks jersey. You know what I'm saying? You want to stalk the garden to try to get an autograph. You want to get there. You want to cheer for him at the garden. Oh, look at Westbrook. You're not really there to be for the Knicks. You just want that player. That's the problem. That's the problem with the last 20 years. There's always been the savior thing that the New York media used to always talk about, and just the mellow factor. You want to have a guy that's going to be the guy. Oh, I'm here to say Melo. I love the Knicks ever since Melo was here. I love Melo. He's my favorite player. I don't have a favorite player. Right now, I really like RJ and I really like Obi Toppin, but I don't have a favorite player. I'm the biggest Knicks fan that you've seen. That's a lie because there's so many like great Knicks fans out there. But I'm a pretty big Knicks fan, man. And I could look down at all the players. I really like Rod Strickland, but Rod Strickland he only played like a year or whatever. As a Knick. I really love Bernard King, but his tenure here was ended by injury and stuff like that. Sprewell I love. Anthony Mason I love. A couple other guys too. John Starks I like him too, but I don't know if I love him. Love is thrown around too crazy with sports and stuff like that. But I mean, I just love the Knicks. I love the Knicks team. I love following the Knicks. I love the idea of it. So I don't care about the players. Kevin Durant and stuff like that. It would have been cool because I'm talking about how we're gonna win as a franchise. Because it is another concept I want to bring up too, man. So all these names, so like Ewing was here for 13 years in the playoffs, 15 years as a player. All that time has came and gone. 1980, 85. I remember 1985. You know what I'm saying? I remember 1985. I also was there the night that his jersey went up into the rafters. You know what I'm saying? So who's the out of all the names that I mentioned? So in this little segment of conversation, who's the longest tenured Knick? Me. You Knicks fans. You guys are the longest tenured Knicks fans. You guys are Knicks. You're not getting paid by the Knicks, but you invest so much time, energy, and money and stuff, just energy, arguing, fist fighting people over the Knicks. So we're invested in this and whatever. So all these different players, I don't care about these superstars. You know what I'm saying? That I'm not in this to worship a superstar. If you want to worship a superstar, then don't say you're a fan of the Knicks. Just say that you like this player. There's nothing wrong with that. Go by the under rules. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. People like that. But I'm not one of those people, and a lot of us Knicks fans aren't like that either. We love the Knicks. That's it. We in it for the laundry. I use that line. That's my boy's line. I know he's gonna kill me, but using the laundry. What's the name? CP likes to say that the jersey is not polyester. It's made of lead. The Knicks jersey is made of lead. Nobody wants that jersey. The only person that wants the smoke are us. We've been through this for years. We're the ones that haven't left. So many other players like Noah came here. He's from New York. Joakim Noah, and he came here and he pissed on our franchise. You know what I'm saying? And his cancer's a freaking piece of shit too. You know what I'm saying? All these different guys that came and gone. They came and gone. You know, even Carmelo Anthony, he was only here, but so many years ago. But I mean, like some guys that have been Knicks fans for years. You know what I'm talking about. We've been through so much. Scott Layden, Scott Layden, Isaiah Thomas, go even further back. Fucking Ernie Grunfeld, Dave Checketts. Look how far we've came as being a Knicks fan. So we've seen it all. We are the Knicks. So I don't give a damn about Westbrook. I don't give a damn about getting none of these stars. It'll be nice to get them to help us win, but who cares what they do? If you're not on the Knicks, to hell with you. What's the name? Rivers said that. Austin Rivers actually said that. They was asking about the team. They said, but whatever they was doing this, but I don't really care. I'm not on the team anymore. Yo, man. I'm just monologuing here. So who else is here? We got Il Matrix. That's a new name that I noticed here. 365 days a year as a Knicks fan, man. Come on. This is what we do. That's what we do. Yeah, man. Shout out Joe Madden again. Trade Frank Randle for PG, not Buddy Hield. PG as in Paul George. With all due respect, Paul George is a fucking bitch. That's just call it what it is. All the respect. You know what I'm saying? Great basketball player, but even he would say, yeah, I'm kind of like a little bitch a little bit. But with all the respect, you know what I'm saying? He's 6'8", whatever, 5 foot, whatever. So it is what it is. Reach advantage and stuff like that. We already seen Nate get knocked out, so I'm not trying to get knocked out either. So just state my business. So anyway, man, thank you for tuning in, man. I'm gonna cut it off. Thank you for guys for tuning in. This has been a really like a gratitude episode, but I really wanted to talk about the Knicks training camp interviews and stuff like that. Just the whole thing. We've been waiting for this for so long, and I'm glad that we're here. We're not there yet. We still got another week or so before they actually start playing preseason games, and we can really start getting busy with the Knicks talk and stop speculating. Reading our Dr. Seuss and reading rainbow books and stuff like that. Butterflies in the sky. Frank is gonna, shoot the corner three. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just crazy, man. We get to like see real stuff and see the real fruit of these guys' labor, man. And it's beautiful. I see another new name here. We got Paul. I apologize for the name, but I put here so because I can't really pronounce the name. Go get Buddy Hield. I already mentioned Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is miserable, man. I don't know if we want a guy like that. We don't need guys that are miserable. We need guys that they really want to play. I understand he's gotten better. Got a real slick handle, keeps his head up. He got a nice little jump shot and stuff like that. But get him to New York. I'm not exactly sure he's gonna cut it here. You know what I'm saying? I believe he's West Indian, and there's a heavy West Indian culture here, so he'll be great for New York City in that regard. But I don't know. I really don't know because he's kind of miserable. He's a miserable freaking dude, man. We got Irwin Ars. I just seen him for the first time. Frank getting traded, B. Yeah, maybe. You never know. That's the thing too. I know I said I wanted to get out of here, but I mean, this is the thing with Frank. Oh, if Frank goes to another team, he's gonna play good for that team. Okay, he probably will. Chances are, if he goes to, like, let's say somebody made that point too. If Frank got waived today, if we waive Frank, there's gonna be 29 teams trying to get him. Every single playoff team is gonna try to get him. Why? Because he's a defensive specialist. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a good team, let's say like the Lakers would love to get Frank Ntilikina. Because you could put Frank Ntilikina in there and have him defend somebody for a little while to take the breather off of somebody or whatever. And maybe if Frank can hit a three and stuff like that, then that's valuable to a team like the Lakers, or like say like anybody that you think is good, whatever team you think is good. Frank is going to do well there. San Antonio is not good, so that those days are done. He's going to go to San Antonio and it's just going to be horrible. He's going to turn into think of anybody that went over there and they didn't do well, because San Antonio doesn't keep players for long. They get rid of guys. They have a rotation. Let's see who else is here. I see Terrence Harris is here. People forget about the language barrier. Yeah, he just started playing. Talking well. I heard him in the interview. He was talking pretty good. Youngest team. Yeah. Of course he was hesitant. Yeah, of course he was hesitant. But he can also go back to France. Take your ass back to France, bro. If is a language barrier, get Rosetta Stone or something. This is a professional basketball league. If you can't speak the language, and you can't communicate as a point guard, then that says it all right there. If you can't speak the language, then you can't run the point. You know what I'm saying? And if you're having problem communicating and stuff like that, if you're homesick, go back home, fam. We don't really have time for that. Il Matrix, I think I mentioned YouTube. We got Galloway on Galloway. That's the one. JR said Galloway. Yeah, Galloway. He went to Detroit, and who gives a damn about him anymore? What else we got here? We got Rogelio Cooper. Rogelio's a dope name. I always like that name. Tibbs is the only coach the last year. Yep. This would be a good, of course. But that's another word too. Development. Development is a word that I hate because it's over for that. You got to show and prove. You got to develop yourself. Like this show. I've been adding things to the show. Like I said, this light in front of me is burning my eyes. But I'm developing. The show is developing. You know what I'm saying? So who's developing? Somebody's not developing me. I'm developing myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't you guys get 444 Jay-Z? Didn't he teach you something? People like to use that reference. But I mean, I'm just joking around. But I mean, like you really have to get better. If you want to get money, you got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? You're tired of working your dead end job. Go to school. You know what I'm saying? Go take a loan out maybe and start a business. Or just keep working at that job. You know what I'm saying? What the hell? It's up to you. You're the one that wants to get busy. Like nobody else cares. Nobody else cares. If you want to succeed in life, then you have to do the work. Bodega Wi-Fi. What's up? RJ and Iggy speak French fluently. Indeed. Oh my God! Run the point. He averages 5 points a game. He sucks. Yeah, but it's not really about points because Jason Kidd has some seasons where he didn't score a lot. But you got to be able to lead men. You got to be able to pass the ball. You got to be able to run the offense. Make guys around you better. Guys shouldn't be making the point guard better. Don't make no damn sense. What else is going on here? Frank R's is still talking some stuff here. Frank could be our smart. Yeah, we already said that. Tony Allen, that's the one that everyone loves to say. Tony Allen, he could be. He could be, but we don't have starters. So he could be our Tony Allen and Pat Beverly. But if he could be that, who's the starters? If we don't have starters, then guess what? We're gonna be a fucking shit basketball team. This Dolo, my man, is still talking here. We got Aaron Mason. Frank definitely getting buried because he played. Oh my God, Lord have mercy. I talked about that already. Ah, man. I'll just mention it again. I said it before. Team defense. That's all I gotta say. Okay, well, I'll leave it here. Okay, so this is Dolo. This Dolo was talking about a fantasy league. Fantasy league. I usually run a fantasy league every year. Still talking about Buddy League. Bunny Hill here. I usually do a fantasy league every year, man. So look out for that. I'm trying to get guys that actually want to play. So like if you follow the podcast, look out for that. If you would like to play, I'm probably gonna make a few of them. I'm probably gonna make 3 leagues, probably, because that's probably the most I can really control. So I'll make 3 leagues, head-to-head leagues, 12 to 14 teams, and I'll make a few of them, and then we'll run it like that. So look out for that. I'll probably post it on Instagram or Twitter, and you guys can join the league and we can play some fantasy basketball. Just something to do while we're trying to waiting for the next Knicks game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's tired of winning. Whatever, bro. How I feel about Austin? Yeah, I already mentioned Austin too. Austin's a great player. Great player in the sense that I loved what he said, and he has his mind right. He has all the skills and stuff like that. He has a lot of season. He's played on a lot of playoff teams and stuff like that. So he knows if a team, he knows what it takes for a team to succeed on as a playoff team. He also knows if a team is bad, or whatever. So he knows that too. So he brings a certain amount of experience. So that's why you have to pencil him in as like a rotation player, not necessarily the starter. Alec Burke, like I mentioned before, he's in that boat. Like I mentioned a few guys, DSJ, Elfrid Payton. These guys are on the fence. They all got to fight for that spot. Frank is in there too. So all those guys got to fight. But Austin Rivers and Burke, these guys are, I pencil them in as in ink. Those guys are going to be in the rotation, and they're going to bring something to the team. Certain amount of professionalism. So I hope guys get around them. So watch them, how they move and whatever, and then hopefully we can get guys to buy in, and then we can finally make the playoffs one day. All right, man. So like I said, this is it for me. This is Evil to Any Star, host of the Dynex podcast. If this is your first time watching, thank you for watching. Please get out there, like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, this is the first time I ever said it on the video. Please get out there, like, share, and subscribe. And just show the kid love, man. I'm gonna be, like I said, I'm gonna be on your favorite podcast. Eventually. You know what I'm saying. I've been grinding on everybody's podcast. I'm like the Sean Price of podcasting, man. If you invite me to be on your pod, I'll get on it, man. We could talk some Knicks. So I didn't really care too much about that bullshit, just the Knicks shit. Anyway, guys, this is Evil to Any Star. Thanks for tuning in. As I do on the show, put 4 fingers to your forehead, tuck in your thumb, salute, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Anyway, that's what you do when you see a diehard. 4 fingers to the forehead, tuck in your thumb. All right, we out of here, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.